It is hot, it is humid, it is not white t-shirt weather. I have arrived in Darwin.
Can you keep a secret? A story of the stars. We'll dream until the morning comes around.
So as with every place I've gone to so far, I've had a list that I need to sort out. Darwin, for me, is one of the least significant points of the story. Now, the reason why it's not such a huge priority for me is the places that I need to go see are not there anymore. In 1974, a year after the Horn family was here, Cyclone Tracy came through and basically wiped out all of Darwin. So I'm not going to see much of, I'm not going to go to the actual places where it was because there's no way of really knowing. I want to call the ABC here and see if I can get an interview again on the radio, or maybe even put a call out and see if anyone remembers the Horns like the other two places. Calling. Thank you so much, Kate. They want me to send through the press kit and we'll see how we go. Where to next? I think I'm going to go to the library, send that press kit straight away, and also ask and see if I can find some footage and shizen like that. So I got up this morning to film the clip that you just saw before the sunrise, and while I'm sitting there filming it, I get a message from a friend saying, "Well done, Alessandro, for getting into ABC News." And I was like, what are you talking about? And the day before, yesterday afternoon, I actually had a call to an interviewer, and he said to me that he was going to do an online article of the Horn family film. And I didn't think much of it. I thought it was for Cairns Far North, which is who he got in contact with me with. And it ended up being for ABC National. So I checked on ABC News and it was number 3 in top stories, which is really, really cool. And it was a great way to start the day. In the time that it took me to walk down to this wharf, I have had 3 phone calls. Now, ABC has gone from placing the article online to their Facebook page, and I just had a phone call from ABC Melbourne who want to do an interview over the phone. It is crazy how quickly news sort of goes, and this is a tiny story so far. It's made me start to re-evaluate, and do I start to think about, am I going away for the right amount of time, and that sort of thing. I don't know. I have to think about this further.
Because I know with filmmaking, and I've experienced it myself, it's because it's very blurry, because it's like an identity as well as a job, that just trying to have think about some boundaries around that.
So that conversation you just saw was with Kylie. Kylie's a friend of mine, and she, just helped me out with, basically, I tend to make decisions based through panic or through, I don't know what through, so I was just making sure I would talk to her about this before I make a decision on whether I cut the trip short or anything like that, because ultimately she was saying that any attention that you gain now is going to still be there in 6 months' time. In actual fact, it might even be more so because you've gone through a 6-month journey to continue this. So yeah, just back to normal. Let's continue the work. In hindsight, this was not a good idea to do all this walking. While I've got time on this walk, I'll talk a little bit about pearling luggers. So there was a huge industry, and it's a smaller industry now, but basically people would go down to the bottom and find pearls. The shells of the pearls, and not the pearl themselves, but the shells of the pearls were used for buttons, and that's when the industry was at its peak. Now, back in the 70s, there were still pearling luggers. So hopefully at this art museum, I've seen online that there are some in there, and I think I can get to see some. amphibian behind me here is a purling lugger. Now the significance in this story, well, the Horn family were the official navigators of a purling lugger from Thursday Island in the Torres Strait Islands all the way to Darwin, which is no small feat whatsoever. I have no idea how they even scored that, how the father scored that for them, but I think it's remarkable just to see this in person. You've got a young family on a boat like this on a journey that would have taken them weeks. It is quite an interesting thing. Alright, so I'm up here in the top bunk of my bedroom in the hostel. Hopefully no one walks in during this interview. And yeah, I'm waiting for the phone call. I think she said she'll call at 2 p.m, which is 3:30 Melbourne time. Here we go. Hello, Alessandro speaking. But I guess it really taught the Horn family the importance of sticking together and family, as opposed to risking it all for adventure, you know? The final thing I want to do today is head out to the Northern Territory Library. So I went to the Darwin City Library, but they sort of more a public book place. The Northern Territory Library hopefully can get me with records and things like that. Just got a call from Matt from Talking Lifestyle, and he wants to chat, well, they want to chat to me on their radio station in 10 minutes, so I've got to try and find a quiet spot to do that. Alright, this doesn't look too bad. This is not far from where I wanted to go with the Parliament Library anyway, and here we are. Set myself in the middle of this lawn so I can hopefully chat to these guys in 8 minutes time. Bloody hell, talking on radio and things like that, it's busy, it's exhausting.
Have you had a think about casting yet? Have you thought maybe I could put, Chris Hemsworth in as the dad, or
maybe Kaylee Harris as the love interest?
You know, I tell you what, I really wouldn't mind a Hemsworth as Mr. John Horn, but well, hopefully they're listening, you know?
You never know.
But that's a fair income consideration, is it? You're in the business of funding it, and if you attach a big name to it, that just helps your cause, doesn't it? Completely, and that's the industry that we're in now. It's all about the people that are attached, so that we can get more voices and more people watching. Alright, now that was incredibly handy. Oh, loved the Northern Territory Library. I asked for the magazines, newsletters, school yearbooks of the Berrymar Primary School or the Darwin Primary School. They went to two different schools. And they came up with 1971 and 1972, the two magazines for the school. If only they had 1973, I could have maybe seen a little mention of the Horn family. But what I did get is words and the voices and the writings of children that would have been the age of the Horn family back in 1971 and 72. Like, it was really cool. What was the thing that you loved the most of the year? Seeing Princess Margaret come out. How wonderful is that? That is so timely of the time, and it's just things that I would not know without doing that sort of research. And that is pretty much it for Darwin. I've been here for 3 days, and yeah, it's been good. It's been really productive. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. And that's kind of the first leg of this journey done. The first section, which has been this Australian research section, that's pretty much over, and now I'm heading off to Southeast Asia. And I'll see you next week, and I'll tell you all about where I'm going and what I'm doing.